Hey YouTube, PSP Gamer back again for another video. Today I thought I would go through and show you all my anime collection. I have quite a few DVDs as I am an avid anime watcher. So I figured I would go over what I've got, maybe probably give you some impressions, and maybe you'll find some anime in here that you'd never heard of. So I'll get started first with the anime that I haven't watched, that I own, but that I haven't watched, so I can't really give impressions on. First up, Robotech, The Next Generation. It says complete box set. I picked it up for £1, but I did find out after I bought it for the £1 that it is in fact episodes 61 to 85, which is a whole season. It seems like season 4 or 5. So I don't really want to start it because it starts at episode 61, and it looks like it does go on further than that. But I haven't watched it purely because I think it's in the middle of the series. But it'd be interesting if I can get a hold of the rest of it to see what it's like. Oh, put that over there. Next up, these are all freebie DVDs that I got at the recent anime convention I went to. So a lot of these I haven't watched purely because they're either I just haven't got round to it, or because they're in the middle of the series. So here is 0091. Don't know what to think of it. It is the first in the series, so I will probably get round to watching it eventually. Not sure how to pronounce this one. Oktizoshi. Again, I got this for £1. Came with the manga book, which I will show you in another video. Again, don't know what to think of it, but I'll probably get round to watching it eventually. Not sure how to pronounce that. Le Chevalier d'Eon, not quite sure there. This I got free, and I really don't know what to think of it. It looks very prehistoric, well not prehistoric, wrong word, ancient maybe. Doesn't really look to be my kind of anime, but maybe if I get bored one day I'll watch it. I haven't watched this one. It does look like something I would like to watch, but it is number 2. But this is, not sure if you pronounce it Genki or Zinki Extend. If I can get my hands on the first and the rest of the volumes, I believe there are 3, so if I get the first and the third volume, I will definitely give it a watch, because it just looked like something that I would like. But yeah, and these two I've had for a while. Well, one of them I've had for a while. I got this free when I went to the latest convention. Got it off someone who didn't want it. And quite a while back, I got number 2. I was so I can now watch episodes 1 to 8, which I do plan on eventually doing. And there are 7 volumes, unfortunately, so it's like a 40-episode series, I can imagine. I'm not quite sure, but I will either sell these 2 and buy the collection, or I will watch these 2 and get hold of the rest of the collection. But I do plan on watching it purely because I've heard nothing but very good things about Chrono Crusade. So yeah. Anyways, we shall now move on to the full box sets that I have, and I'll start off with probably the only one that I have that I haven't watched properly. And I bought it at the most recent anime convention just on a whim. Kind of wish I hadn't, but it is Battle Vixens, or Ikitusen. Picked it up purely because it looked interesting when I looked at it on the table. I can't remember how much it was, but I got home and watched it, and it really didn't do much for me. It just looked appealing, and even after I bought it, one of my friends said, "Oh, why did you buy that? It's crap. The storyline's paper thin. All it is fighting where for some reason their clothes disintegrate every time they land a blow." So I did watch the first disc, and it didn't enthrall me that much, I have to admit. It didn't do much for me. I do plan on watching it in full though. I will go through it and watch it completely. And then once I have, I'll maybe give my impressions on it. But from what I've watched of it, nothing special. And onto the anime that I have watched. Starting off with Love Hina. A fantastic series. A lot of people know of Love Hina. A really, really good anime series. I can't recommend it enough. It's funny. There's some generally sad moments in there. There are some moments you can relate to. Some episodes are just wacky, and the ending is as satisfactory as it should be. I don't have any of the other DVDs like Love Hina Again, or I think there's one other. I do only have the box set, but it is a really, really good series, and comes highly recommended. And I also have the other series of anime made by the same person who animated Love Hina, which is Najima, basically referred to as the Harry Potter of anime. I beg to differ. I've watched the first, I think, 8 episodes, and I am enjoying it so far, and I do plan to go back and watch the rest of them. And I know this isn't a real or an authentic copy, I did get it from eBay, but it's still DVD quality on the DVD, and you do get English and Japanese audio and all that. But from what I've watched of Najima, it's good, but I haven't finished watching it, so I can't really give an overall impression. But from what I've watched, I did enjoy what I watched. Next up, Elfenlied, a fantastic psychological anime, one that really gets to you, but is for all the right reasons. Very gory, a really touching storyline, and just a generally really well put together anime. This is the German version, which I got at the anime convention, but I was assured that it was in English, and it is. But yeah, really good. Comes with I think that's a postcard, and it is all in English, which is really good. But really worthwhile watching anime. Really, really good. Highly recommended. Though not for those with a weak stomach, because there is a lot of blood in there. But highly recommended nonetheless. Next, one of my all-time favourite anime, Azumanga Daioh. Again, this is similar to the Najima one. I got it off eBay, if I remember rightly. Really, really good anime. I have watched this like 4 or 5 times through, and every time it makes me laugh. Really can't recommend it enough. It's just a really, really well put together anime. 6 high school girls, and their day-to-day life through high school, and their teachers, and it's just hilarious. I can't really recommend it enough. It's just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, not much more to say, other than if you can get it, pick it up. It's brilliant. Okay, next up, one I recently picked up on a whim from eBay is Najika Blitz Tactics. I enjoyed it. I have recently finished watching it. I did enjoy it. Oops. I did enjoy it. Basically, it's about a secret agent who goes around doing missions, rescues our little friend on the cover here. Here's the main character. And every episode is based on a mission they go on. But it comes highly recommended. It did have me enthralled the whole series. It did have me drawn in. The only thing I do have to warn you though is that this anime is fairly notorious for the amount of panty shots that it shows. As in, there is one almost every 30 seconds. That's how frequent they are. I mean, just by looking at the box art, some of the pictures, you can see that they are... There you go. That's pretty much the first thing you see when you start the anime up. And the same here. You can just see... just looking at the box art tells you what you're walking into. But it does come highly recommended, though for those of you who don't like fan service in your anime, steer clear, because it will drive you nuts. But recommended to everyone else. Next up, another one that I picked up on eBay, just for a $5. This is a copy, but it's called Green Green. For those of you who don't know what it's about a school of male students that end up collaborating with a set of female students, and basically what happens in their 1 month trial period. There is another storyline to it, but I'm not going to go into it, but all I really need to say is fan service galore, and it's not bad. The storyline is quite thin, and there are some scenes in there that will make you want to rake out your eyeballs, but other than that, it is a worthwhile watch. Though I would advise avoiding episode 13, but even though it says 1 to 12. The main series is episodes 1 to 12. Episode 13 is pretty much downright hentai. I have watched it. It is on the disc that I got, and it is just downright hentai. So you can watch it just to see what happens, but there are 2 fairly intense sex scenes in there, and it's not really recommended for those of you who really didn't enjoy the series. The ending was pretty good though. It wasn't what I expected. Next up, This Ugly Yet Beautiful World. One that, again, I picked up on a whim, but one that I really, really enjoyed purely because of the message it conveyed. There is a brilliant, brilliant message in here. I won't spoil it, but it's an anime that needs to be watched purely because it's just so well put together, and it's just, I just think it was brilliant. And the message that it tries to convey, it's just worth watching because of what it does, and there's nothing much more to say. Highly recommended. Next up is another anime that I picked up on a whim, and I actually ended up importing the second volume for, which is Mohoro Romantic, and I did import the second volume from the States. I did pick up at the most recent anime convention the first volume of Something More Beautiful, which is the second season, but I found out that the second and third DVDs weren't actually due out over here for another couple of months, so I thought, stuff that, and ended up buying the whole collection. So that's the whole volume 1 and the whole volume 2. That includes the OVA. Really, really good. A really touching storyline. Loads of fan service for those of you who enjoy it, but it's not horrendously excessive. And just some generally funny moments in there. It's hard to explain. Basically, she's an android, and there's a backstory involving him and her. She's then introduced that mixes it all up, but I'm not going to spoil anything. It's just worth watching, and it's just fantastic. Next one is an anime everyone knows of, so there's really not going to be much on this. Death Note. This isn't my box set, I am borrowing it, but I have watched it up to about episode 30. The first 25 episodes I thought were fantastic. After that, it started to slide, and that's kind of why I stopped watching it at episode 30. It got to that point, and I thought, this is getting stupid now. I am finding it difficult to watch. First 25 episodes, genius. After that, it slides. That's pretty much my impressions. Good to 25, and then it slides. And next up is pretty much the last collection I have, which is Pani Pani Dash. I do have volume 1, but I've lent it to a friend at the moment. I do have volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what can I say? It is just one of the wackiest anime I've ever seen in my life. Completely random. There are loads of references in there, Japanese references in there, loads of Western references. It's just a parody fest, and it is just hilarious. There are so many scenes in this anime where I was just stitching up in laughter because of just so random it was. And it's worth watching purely because you never know what you're watching. There is a thin storyline, but every episode is so unique. You feel like you're watching a completely different episode of a completely different anime with the same ethos every time. And it's recommended purely because it is so random. So get the whole collection. It cost me £20 for all 6. I know there's 5 here, but all 6 cost me £20, and I have not looked back on it. Brilliant. And these other 4 DVDs are either movies I have or just OVAs that I have. I bought this last year, Puni Puni Power Me. Really quite a fucked up 2-episode OVA. Really fucked up. There's some really what the fuck moments in here, but it is funny. Funny as fuck. Though it is 18 for a reason, it is quite mature. But recommended if you just want an hour of laughs and complete randomness. And there are some pretty questionable scenes in there as well, but it's all funny. Next up, one that everyone's heard of, Akira. Again, luckily, got it for nothing, actually. A friend of mine gave it to me. What can I say? It's like the cult anime movie. If you haven't seen it, you shouldn't really be an anime fan, considering it's like one of the earliest, most popular anime. Brilliant. Highly recommended. And just quickly, Sonic the movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, watch it. Be careful though, there are some pretty shocking voice acting in there. Otherwise, it's a pretty fun adventure for the hour that you get out of it, and it's worth watching if you're a Sonic fan. And finally, a movie that everyone's heard of, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. It is sealed because I have watched it before. I recently was bought it by a friend. I have watched it. I watched it back when it was originally released. I recently picked it up on DVD, or was bought for on DVD. Haven't watched it yet on DVD, but from what I will remember of it, it was brilliant. So yeah, that's my anime collection, guys, and I will get on to my manga collection soon. Take care. Thanks for watching.